Hi guys, I don't know if you are as excited as I am, but the final season of Game of Thrones is here and I really like it. I really do. In the second episode there was a beautiful song and I really liked it, so I thought I'll bring my guitar with me and we'll use this as an opportunity to have a look at a couple of different things. The first one, that's sort of a perfect topic, a grammar topic obviously, to discuss while listening to a song, is how the pronunciation of the words changes if we put them all together, all right? If we do not separate them, if we do not look at them in isolation, but in a sentence. So pronunciation changes, and I will show you this with the song from the second episode of the 8th season of Game of Thrones, which is a really beautiful original song written for the series. It's called Jenny from the Oldstones, or from Oldstones, not the Oldstones, from Oldstones. And another thing that I would like to show you with this lesson, with this song, is how to use prepositions, Suzanne, with this song, is how we use would in a particular specific situation when we talk about the past. Finally, some of my students struggle with the pronunciation of the past participle, ed forms, okay? So we'll use the song to explain why we pronounce them differently and how to understand when we use which pronunciation, okay? So 3 things: pronunciation of the words in a sentence, pronunciation of the past participle, and how and why to use would in the past. You guys ready? Let's get started. Our first lesson with some music involved, so I'm really looking forward to your comments, and I would like to know if you would like maybe to have another lesson with a song one day, but this is a special one. I really like this song. Alright, so it starts with a verse that says, "High in the halls of the kings who are gone, Jenny would dance with her ghosts, the ones she had lost, and the ones she had found, and the ones who had loved her the most." So it's a bit of a tongue twister when you have past perfect. We have past perfect because we're telling a story that's located in the past, right? Jenny was dancing in the past and she had loved somebody even before that. And here we already strike our first topic, which is why the sentence is Jenny would dance with her ghost. Is it hypothetical? Is it a conditional? No, it's not. No, we use would when we talk about our past habits. It's a bit like used to. Remember used to? I used to horseback ride 3 times a week, or I used to write many letters when I was little. Now I don't. Right. The difference between used to, which I just used twice, and would, which I will give you an example of in a second, is would is only applied when we talk about past actions, whereas used to can be used for past habits and past actions, regardless of whether they are states or actions. Have a look. He used to be a painter, but now he's a doctor. He used to be a painter. It was a state. And now he's a doctor, right? It was a routine action, which is why I used to, but it was a state. I cannot use would for this. I cannot say he would be a painter. It doesn't sound right. But my brother and I would play every day. We would play together a lot. Play is an action. It's a past habit we had, and I can use would for this, right? Do you see it? All right, so she would dance with her ghost. From this sentence, we know it wasn't one-off sort of a dance, that she as a habit or for a longer period of time, danced with ghosts, right? Very mysterious sentence. In the high in the halls of the kings who are gone, right? So deep in the past, right? And immediately we dive, so that's the meaning of wood here for reminiscence. When we think about a past action that was repeated, we say we would. All right. And we dive directly into the pronunciation of past participle. Who had loved her? Who had loved her? Okay, loved. Loved is a regular verb. In the past participle, it takes the ed suffix and becomes loved. Loved. Okay, you listen how it sounds. It sounds like I add a d sound to it. Loved. Loved. Okay, all right. Loved her. Loved her. Right, all together. Loved her. There you go. So that's the first part. Okay, let's listen to it. It goes like this.
High in the halls of the kings who are gone, Jenny would dance with her ghost. The ones she had lost and the ones she had found, and the ones who had loved her the most.
And then it goes, the ones who'd been gone for so very long, the ones who'd been gone. It's very easy not to spot the d of had because it's shortened. The ones who'd been gone, who'd. It sounds like who'd, right? Who'd been, the ones who'd been gone, the ones who'd been gone. Gone for so very long. She couldn't remember, could not, couldn't remember. Can you hear it? Couldn't remember their names. There is a ch sound that is intrusive here. It's not written when you write it, right? You cannot write the sound, but it's there. She couldn't remember their names. They spun her around. And here a funny thing happens. They spun her around. Okay, there are two ways of pronouncing it. You can drop the R, her around, or her around with a roaring, with an R in between. And the damp Oldstones spun away all her sorrow and pain. Here, sorrow has two vowels at the end. Sorrow, right? But when we get it together with the word that starts with A, like the word end, the last of the two vowels gets dropped. So we don't say sorrow and, we say sorrow and pain. Sorrow and. Okay, so the faster you say it, the faster you say it, the lighter the second vowel, right? Sorrow becomes sorrow and pain, okay, and pain. And we already see that when we move to the next, which is for me the absolute best line, she never wanted to leave. This pronunciation of wanted is very different from the pronunciation of loved. Loved, not loved, loved, but wanted, not want. So why? Basically, all the verbs, regular verbs, can be divided into two categories when we create the past participle, so when we add the ed suffix. Those verbs that end in their basic form with a t or a d sound. So, for example, want, can you hear? It ends with a t sound. Want, okay? End ends with the d sound. Okay, so those two are examples of verbs that when added an additional syllable, ed, will actually remain, will actually hold this one additional syllable, right? So it's going to be want, wanted, end ended. Visit, visited. Okay? Because the verb in its basic form ends with a t or a d sound. Okay? All the other verbs, that's my doggy. All the other verbs are less willing. Hi, Lee. Are less willing to accept the suffix ed. So their suffix becomes just a sound t or d, depending on whether the word afterwards is voiced or devoiced, but that's a different story. You just need to remember that if the basic verb, the basic form of a verb ends with every other sound, not a t or a d, what you have is just added sound, not a syllable. So loved, not loved, okay? Let me show you an example. So let's sing the second verse and the third, and you will see how the pronunciation changes.
The ones who'd been good for so very long, she couldn't remember their names. They spun her on a dumb Oldstones, spun away all her sorrow and pain, and she never wanted to leave, never wanted to leave, never wanted to leave, never wanted to leave.
So, I really love this song. I really do. What I want to show you with this is that words generally, in a dictionary or when we study them separately, have one pronunciation. But we don't speak like that, right? We don't speak like robots. We do not separate our words when we speak. And this is what happens here. Never wanted to leave becomes never wanted to leave. Wanted to. There is just one t sound. Wanted to. Wanted to. And you would say, but you just told me, Suzanne, you liar, that when the verb ends with a t or a d sound, we actually have the full suffix syllable pronounced. That's true. But this particular sentence has wanted and to. So I cannot have two t sounds one after another, which is why one of them gets dropped. But you still can hear that there was a syllable because I say wanted, wanted to, right? This schwa sound there shows me that there was something more, okay? I would like to leave you with the rest of the song. And please pay attention to the little moments where the pronunciation is a bit peculiar because the words are together. That's all I wanted to show you. I'm really excited you're with me. And thank you so much for studying together. I will see you guys soon. Bye.
They danced through the day and into the night, through the snow that swept through the hole. From winter to summer, then winter again, till the walls they tremble and fall. And she never wanted to leave, never wanted to leave, never wanted to leave, never wanted to leave. High in our halls of the kings who are gone, Jenny would dance with her ghost. The ones she had lost and the the ones who had loved her.